Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 140, The Big Three's Suneater. And with that title in mind, our chapter opens on a flashback to Tamaki Amajiki at the start of 3rd grade. Apparently it was spring and he had just transferred into a new class. He could barely get in him, Wallflower being Wallflower, he could not even get any words out for his introduction. Classes had just been shuffled around. People who were previously in the same class immediately grouped up and made new cliques. And for me, a transfer student who stumbled right out of the gate, I didn't have the courage to approach him on my own. And basically, he's just talking down to himself, thinking he was plain old and boring and all that. But then Mirio, that's when he met Mirio. It's who apparently caught a little bit of what he was trying to say and realized, hey, who's your favorite hero? Back in the present, the cops are realizing that they've lost their vanguard of heroes. It's what do we do? Keep going on. That's all we can. And the guy in the hallway is the guy who is the hallway rather. It's their numbers are more than I expected. Guess I should deal with them first. And Suneater's planning to take on 3 of the bullets by himself. Red Riot's what the hell are you saying? Let's work together. Which is, of course, exactly what the bullets want. And one of the cops recognizes him as Tetsuno. This particular one, I'm going to call him Sanji Bullet because he's got this nice suit and Sanji hair, besides the plague mask. We won't be able to suit with this guy around. Heroes, it's up to you. Apparently, it's something to do with his quirk. Well, this makes it that much easier for me to run wild. But at this point, Razorhead jumps in, drop the sword. And at this point, Setsuno realized that whatever his quirk is, it's not working. The guy in the sick mask realizes the eraser similar to Ares' deterioration quirk. I had heard there was a hero like that out there. And it's this is a problem, but all we need to do is hinder them. No more, no less. At this point, Fat Gum jumps in, your blades won't work on me. Blades and guns, they'll just sink into my body, so give it up. Empty threats like that only work on people who hold their own lives dear. Of course, they're still trying to get these guys to surrender, but it's not really going well. But before they can escalate too much further, Suneater jumps in, using what looks like either a shell or a mollusk to spin attack past them. He uses octopus tentacles to grab them. And he names them Larceny, Setsuno, Crystallization Hojo, and Meal Tabe. I'll be your opponent, Suneater declares and throws him around. He claims they ate his fill of takoyaki at Fat's office, so my octopus proficiency levels are at their peak. And I'm also extremely wary of weapons like these now that I have been shot once. It's pointless to waste your time taking these guys on. There are plenty of pro heroes in the premises. This situation is exactly what we wished for. It's exactly what we wanted. What Red Ride's Red Ride tries to object again, but Suneater's declaring that this is a contest of speed. We can't afford to waste even a second. Gotta keep the pros, quirks, and reserve what's to come, especially Eraserheads. You'll also need the power to break through those twisting underground passages and the police with their guns. I can shut these 3 out myself. And at that point, Fat Gum calls everybody out of the room to get out and leave it to him. At this point, Eraserhead jumps in and smacks the guy with the scarecrow mask, but he also declares that he's looked at all 3 of them and tells Suneater to seal their movements while my quirk is still in effect. And as everybody's leaving, Suneater declares that asked them all to take care of Mirio for him. He'll definitely do something rash, so help him out. Red Riot and Lock and Low both kind of question Fat Gum's decision here. It's he's one of yours, isn't he? But Fat Gum declares that in terms of ability, he surpasses everyone else here. But his heart's weak. He feels like he's under pressure to do everything perfectly, and he lets himself get crushed by it. But even in that state, he still managed to climb his way to becoming one of the UA Big 3. And even a guy like that declared he can shut them out. We just gotta leave it to him. Suneater's kind of assessing the situation himself. Like, these guys have the role of eliminating intruders before they get anywhere. He hasn't seen any particular signs of the mimicry ability from Irinaka, which means he's probably prioritizing the other police officers. That or he doesn't have precise control over the entire labyrinth. And regardless, his job is to hold these three guys back. And he thinks so that even though he talked a big game, he needs to knock them out before Eraserhead's power wears off. I'll clock all three of you at once. I'm sorry, but it's time to sleep. But then, Setsuno, the soundy one, like, charges ahead and headbutts one of the tentacles. Of course, he declares, like, and he warns Suneater, like, no, I get you're in a hurry, but don't get too impatient. You're taking on human trash here. You never know what could be hiding beneath our masks. In this case, like, the reason he did the headbutt was he actually had, like, a knife hidden in his plague mask. And Sick Mask is declaring that, realizing that Eraserhead's quirk has worn off. And he starts, like, crystallizing, like, forming crystals all over his body to let him break out of Suneater's power. Sanji taunts him about the fact that he can't actually kill them. It's like, nice handicap, huh? Make sure you sort your trash properly. And as he does this, he realizes that the shell or husk or whatever it is on Suneater's arm, like, it disappears and winds up in Setsuno's hand. And apparently this guy's ability is largely the ability to instantly move anything on someone else's person into his hands. Which means even and Suneater realizes that even the husk counts on something on my person. And Setsuno declares that they all threw their lives away a long time ago. He tried to commit suicide by jumping off a building, and some hero caught me. Oh, I feel complete despair. We're all people who can no longer see a purpose in being alive. But you'd never understand. But the young boss, he picked us up. He picked up trash like us. He recycled us. Even trash has pride, you know. The boss has high hopes for us. We've got to deliver. That one is actually Sick Mask, the crystal guy who punches Suneater. We're back in flashback mode here. A teacher's apparently telling the younger Amajiki that you can use your quirk to do many different jobs. Hero is only one of them. The purpose of quirk education is for you to discover how you can make your quirk useful in your future career. But he's trying, and we see Amajiki trying, like, getting a little, like, sprout to come out of his hand, but it's like, he's able to do a lot more than just that. So you're still too nervous, huh? No, that's fine. Don't push yourself. You can step back. And doing the exact opposite of stepping back is Mirio, who's slamming his face into a wall. I can't even get your face to slip through. I'm telling you guys, it's super hard. Why don't you try? It's at least 5 times harder than you think it is. And they're all coming, like, in terms of quirk control, Mirio is actually kind of clumsy. And I'll definitely make it work next time. As the two of them are walking home, like, Amajiki's like, you're amazing, Mirio. Even if you fail, you still keep your head held high. And brighten up everyone around. Like, I'm a failure. When I think of how I might mess up, my mind goes blank and I can't move. You'll become an amazing hero, one that shines like the sun. What are you talking about? You're really talking me up here, but it's not like that at all. I'm able to hang in there and do my best all the time because you're around, Tamaki. It's not like I've got a strong heart or anything. Just, even though you're crazy nervous all the time, you never run away. You always try your hardest. That makes me want to try even harder so I don't lose. And then we see that this is, like, something that probably never occurred to Amajiki's like, I think you overvalue me or undervalue yourself too much. That's why you call me the sun and all that stuff, but I know. This is Mirio speaking. Like, I think you overvalue me and undervalue yourself too much. That's why you call me the sun and all that stuff. But I know you've got amazing talent. The truth is, you're a really fun guy. And we see them kind of like goofing off as little kids. So if I were to use your own words, you could say that you burn more strongly than the sun itself. The sun ain't nothing compared to you. You'll overshadow it completely. Because I'm saying, have confidence in yourself here, Tamaki. And then as we come into the present, we see Amajiki, like, stopping the crystal guy cold, like, give it up. I'm Suneater. And then we say our little blurb here at the end, like, the name his friend gave him lights his way. And that's where the chapter ends. And actually, and my first thought here is, like, I like how this kind of gives us an explanation for Suneater's hero name. Like, his power is that he takes in all the things that he eats to make himself stronger. And Mirio describes things like, he describes Mirio like in terms of the sun, so he's eating that in a way, like by being close to him and strengthening himself. So he eats he becomes a hero by eating the sun. It's more metaphorical than I doubt I'm explaining this even close to right, but there you are. Again, we have the nice little glimpse of Amajiki's past was pretty cool there. Like seeing him as a nervous kid, like seeing how they were like Mirio and him have actually been friends since they were a little kid. Now I kind of wonder how long they've known Nejire. Did they meet in UA, or have they known each other even longer than that? I also like Fat Gum's decision, like to pull out and leave this to Suneater. It's like because he, as you point out, and as we've seen, he crumbles under pressure pretty quickly, and yet even he's like, I got this. So it does make a fun thing to see him like actually like stand up for himself. And it occurs to me, we've seen 2 out of 3 guys quirk. I don't think we've seen Scarecrow Mask use his quirk yet, which probably will give him trouble next chapter. But yeah, I do like the fact that we see like we seem to be trying to think of how to phrase this now. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it if I think of it. Like I said, Fat Gum, definitely like his reaction to all this. Like, he's saying like, I'll do this, even though like he always tends to crumble under pressure. So we're gonna give it to him because he's probably one of the strongest guys here anyway. And then we have the bullets themselves. Like, they have no value for their own lives, so they're willing to do anything it takes. Of course, now 3 of them are being held back by 1 guy, which is probably not what they were going for. One thing I was also kind of neat to see as well, like just like how they treat the stuff like in school, like before like high school, or before like hero school. Because like in the elementary school stuff, we're seeing all like the kids together. Like we see like a girl with like a tail, a kid with like an animal head, and things like that. In middle school, we're also seeing like fine tune their control over their quirks, like in classes and such, so they can make use of them later. Yeah, but I like this though. I like the fact that Suneater and Lemillion, like Mirio and Tamaki, are both like such foils for each other in all this. Like they're kind of, it's almost like a friendlier version of Deku and Bakugo when you think about it. But Mirio and Bakugo's role is like the ace with the, well, I can't really say ace student, but the confident one at least. They're both aiming to be heroes, and they both like done it side by side, and they're both kind of very friendly rivals. Yeah, I really like this particular chapter, like seeing what Suneater could actually do in a fight. And I'm looking at some comments here just real quick. Like nothing really came up in the actual comments, like forums, things I usually follow. Like nothing that's jumped out at me to mention here. And one comment I'm seeing here, apparently, like at the end when he stops the crystal guy, he's actually combining different things he's eaten into one effect, which I had not picked up on myself. So good for him on that one. Trying to think if there's anything else mentioned on here, but I think I've covered. Like so, these action chapters are hard for me to review because, well, I can't really call this one an action chapter because it's both action and exposition, but it's mostly focused on the fight with Suneater. And I think I covered like the high points of that fight. I did like the Sanji one, like having a mask, like knife in his actual mask. There, that was actually a sneaky little trick right there. Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and call the review here. I think that's for now. That's been My Hero Academia, Chapter 140, The Big Three's Suneater. Till next week, see you later, and bye-bye.